Hey, Drew, who do you think would win in a fight? 3 Ewoks smacked out of their gourd on meth, or George Washington?
I don't like old George's odds here.
Fight takes place in Delaware, not Endor.
I mean, there's trees in Delaware, right?
Yeah.
I don't.
Okay.
His teeth aren't going to be the only things made out of wood by the time they're done with him.
Oh, dear. Folks, here we are back again. Another exciting episode of Devil's Due. I am your host, Carl Duty. With me, as always, is a man who is so happy today. So happy. This day of our Lord, Wednesday, June. What's the date today? June 15th? 15th?
Yeah.
Mark the days on the calendars, folks, because this is the day where Drew Celestino wears a huge happy face.
Pretty big, not gonna lie.
Pretty big, not gonna lie. For reasons, if you are familiar with him and familiar with the show, obviously know about now, but we will get to later in the show. Drew, we're back again. We're back in person. The novelty of it has not worn off yet, and I thoroughly enjoy that.
We are back. Slightly updated dig since last we've been here.
The Cobra Island studios are truly coming into form, predominantly because you can tell it's officially Cobra Island Studios as I motion to the giant Cobra symbol decal on the wall.
That's correct. It's there.
I'm glad.
It's
very prominent spacing too.
It's for real.
I was not expecting.
Well, I mean, this is the studio, so it had to go in the studio space.
Yes.
So coming around. It's coming around.
Looks good. Got posters up. You got
some stuff up. I still have some comic book posters. Yeah.
Things for some sound purpose behind you.
Yeah. They can knock down on the echo and some high frequency reflections. Hopefully it does the job. It's doing pretty well. I noticed it pretty much right away, but it's not soundproof by any stretch. It's just to help tame the naughty frequencies in this space that we are in.
Will the listeners hear any difference?
I have no idea. Probably not.
All right.
Probably not.
Good. Money well spent then.
But I notice it when I'm doing mixing and stuff where I sit right here.
Gotcha.
That's the important thing.
So it's been a couple weeks since our last episode, and many a time have been spent together with here for game nights and with other friends as well. And Drew, it is no small thing in life, the blessing of being able to spend time with friends in person and just laugh and be together. And I have missed that. I'm glad we have it back.
We're back.
We are back. Sir.
Allegedly, we're back, like for real, in New York State.
Yes, apparently, 70%.
Well, let's knock on wood that all holds together. Come on, baby, hold together.
So, Drew, how have your past weeks been? Yeah.
I'm here. It's been fine, I guess. Let's see. Where do I want to get caught up on the things and the events? I'm officially in mastering mode on the new Long Cold Dark record. So that's basically the end phase of getting it done. Mix is done. So now it's just kind of a back and forth between me and my mastering engineer to get it really dialed in and sounding perfect and consistent through the entirety of the record, through every song.
So you would say you're in the end game now.
I am in the end game now, sort of. Next is planning some kind of actual release strategy for this. It's difficult. I'm not sure how it's going to go, how I'm going to run it. I think I'm thinking about doing it as like a Kickstarter kind of deal where for X dollars you're going to get the download and I'll mail you some tchotchkes, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then for X more dollars, this is where the divide comes in. I can either, my plan really was, if I'm going to do a physical media release for this, I don't see any reason to do it on anything other than vinyl. Although some people are clinging to CDs. I don't know.
Yeah.
I did get some feedback on that, and like some people still like CDs. And to me, it's like, you're nuts. But if you want it, do I have to spend the money to make? I mean, if you're buying a CD, are you not buying a download? I for some reason, I just doubt.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine that in 2021. But either way, I have to keep all these costs in mind because pressing the vinyl is going to be quite pricey.
How strange the times we live in where the vinyl is the preferred physical media method.
It makes. I mean, I'm just speaking for myself, but I think I speak for a lot of vinyl type people. The appeal for a physical medium is greater than a CD. It's bigger. It's more substantial. Mm-hmm. It takes up more real estate, and it commands your attention. You can't skip tracks on it, and you're committing to the act of sitting and listening to an entire side at a time of a band's work. And I think people that are really into it, that's what they like about it. That's what I like about it. I can't just bounce around like, no, we're investing in this right now. So that's what I like about vinyl. And on the flip side, if you want the convenience and the on the go and the skip jump,
yep,
that's what the digital is for. Yep. So that's just how I feel about it. And that's why the whole cassette revival right now drives me nuts because there's just nothing.
There's nothing there.
There's no benefit sonically. There's no benefit conveniently. It's it's just like, hey, member, that's all it is.
It's those dang hipsters.
To be fair, the hipsters were the ones that brought the vinyl back, but I feel like I just laid out the case of why vinyl is back.
Yeah.
I think it has a more valid reason to exist than cassettes.
Okay.
So anyway,
so
that's happening.
Then we have an exclusive here on Devil's Due. I'll tell you what, Drew, when you do the Kickstarter for a single donor of $5,000 or higher,
I'm listening.
You get to come be a guest on Devil's Due.
Fine. Done. Done. $5,000? Yeah, you're in.
That's worth
Come
$5,000.
Come on in.
We'll let you run the show for that episode.
You can produce the whole show. We'll do whatever you want. I mean, within reason.
Yeah, we're both married.
Yeah. Slow down, Tiger. So what else is happening? Not much. Somewhere in the 300 to 400 page mark of the fifth book in the Expanse series.
Fifth of
8.
8
current.
Okay.
And then the 9th coming in November, but I'm going to wait until the soft cover comes out just so I can have consistency on my shelf.
Yep.
They did announce, this is news? I don't know if this is, my buddy just told me that they're doing the novella collection with a new novella included in a hardcover and then also softcover in March after the 9th book of the Expanse. So all the novellas are out already, but they're only digital. So I'm not going to bother with that. So now that they're collecting them, I'll just wait for that to come out and I'll buy that.
Gotcha.
So that's cool. And that's the gist of what's going on. There's not a lot going on.
Cool.
I'm doing my usual. I work, cook.
Had some game nights.
Had some game nights, which have been good. And Grant's had a good run on the potty for the last 4 days.
Nice.
So looking strong. All it took was potty prizes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kids got expensive tastes. So
yeah.
But at what price? Peace of mind of potty.
You know what was really great for William was the because he likes Hot Wheels. Does Grant like Hot Wheels at all?
Dude, Grant likes Star Wars and only Star Wars.
Gotcha.
That's the world I'm living in now. Sounds like a dream when you're a kid. As an adult, my experience is very different.
Your experiences may vary. No, I get that. I do get that. As much as I love Star Wars, trust me, I do.
I have a limit.
Yeah. No, William loves Hot Wheels. So during his initial potty training phase, you could buy a box of 50 Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
And it was cool because they were all 50 individually packaged Hot Wheels.
A lot of Hot Wheels.
That is. So that was kind of like his reward for going on the potty. And he's like mostly potty trained now. He's like 90% potty trained. Teaching pee standing up is tricky.
Yeah.
Because once again, it comes out at a 90-degree angle, and you don't know what direction it's going to go in. You just have to quickly adjust.
Yeah. And you got to teach him, like, okay, aim, lad. Aim.
I know it's only 2 meters wide, but come on now.
Bullseye that womp rat.
You shot defenseless animals? It's a desert planet, and there was nothing else to do.
Not a lot of action for Luke on Tatooine. So,
anyway, cool.
Yeah, hey, yeah, go medium. Oh, went to the zoo the other day. That was kind of cool.
Animal stuff.
Saw the lion cubs. They're adorable.
Cool.
Yeah, there's 2 lion cubs, and
there a monkey holding one up.
No.
Rock?
Oh no, Mama Lion would maul that monkey if it came near. I promise. She was very defensive, but that was fun. Grant had a good time at the zoo.
Cool.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I've been very adulting the past couple weeks.
Sorry.
Yeah, dealing with landscaping and assembling patio furniture.
Yeah, I'm nodding because I feel your pain.
Yeah, assembling the patio furniture. Thankfully, for the table, I had some help. The chairs, I got some, as you can see, marks on the knuckles from turning those screws up against that cloth. That's just like cheese grater after numerous turns of screw. But we have a fully assembled patio set with a nice big umbrella that has lights on the inside of it.
That's cool.
That are solar powered.
That's fun.
That you hear that and sounds really cool.
But
then you get it and the solar charges up and then you turn it on and it's like every other solar powered piece of machinery in the world. It operates at like a quarter of what you would have hoped it would do. So
bummer.
It's a nice glow. I would not go so far as to say it's a. If people are sitting around the table at night, you will be able to see that there are people around the table, and that is about the limit of it. So hey, but it's a thing. So there was that. Then we got the front beds of our house done. That was fun because the guy we hired to do them. See, do you remember how many times we've talked about the universal triangle when it comes to exchange of goods and services?
I live by the triangle.
Good, fast, and cheap.
Yes.
Folks, that's the universal triangle. Good, fast, and cheap. You can have 2. You can never have all 3.
Exactly.
We opted for good and cheap. I can tell you we opted for good and cheap because I had torn up beds in the front of my house and a pile of bricks in the front of my house for like 2 weeks waiting on this guy to come. That was a little frustrating, but they finally got done today. They look good for what we paid for them.
Okay, fair enough.
So, I mean, yeah, it's worlds better than I would have done or would have even attempted to do, but we got like a wall up there. There's some basic shrubberies, and Drew, holy smokes, plants are freaking expensive.
Ridiculously so. I don't do the landscaping because it's bananas.
We bought 5 plants, and I was $50 shy of the price of a PlayStation 5. Yeah.
After secondary market or retail?
Oh, I got them from a guy in the back alley selling plants off a van, questionable van. So yeah, that has pretty much been my weeks aside from work and William and repeat. Dear listeners, as always, thankful that you're here with us. We appreciate you. We always want to hear from you. If you'd like to reach out to us, contact us. You can do so at the following social media locations. You can follow us on Twitter at Devils Do Pod. You can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/devilsdopod. You can email us at thedevilsdopod@gmail.com, or you can find all these resources available at your disposal at our website, devilsdopodcast.com. That being said, Drew,
Yeah.
We do have some emails, but before we get to emails, I got a top 5 list for you.
Before emails.
Before emails.
All right, hit me.
Top 5 list is a fluid thing. We can kind of plug it in wherever. So, folks, last week brought out the Duty Top 5. And this is going to be completely, well, as long as we get feedback, completely listener dictated as far as what we do for a top 5.
So someone sent this to you?
This is a top 5 submission. We had 2 emails this week, both of which had top 5 submissions in them. I just picked one from the email that came first.
Okay.
But, if I find something that tickles my fancy more than other things, being first doesn't necessarily guarantee you that it will be yours. But, that being said, this top 5 list is submitted by listener Adam Williams. Thank you, Adam. Drew, we're going to do top 5 breakfast cereals. Now,
I'm all ears.
Full disclaimer. I'm old.
Yeah.
My body is not what it once was. So I can't eat the way I used to.
Okay.
So, but I feel confident in this list.
All right.
Before we get to the list, though, we have 2 honorable mentions.
Getting the... Okay, go on. Okay.
I respect diversity. How much is a cereal bringing to the table? How flexible are you? Can you be more than just a cereal? What do you offer beyond being a cereal? Keep that in consideration as we get into the top 5 list. But for the honorable mentions, the first one is the very pinnacle of diversity for a pure cereal, and that is the Nintendo Entertainment Cereal System.
Man, going back a ways.
It was great. You got 2 cereals in one box. You got a Super Mario Brothers cereal and a Legend of Zelda cereal.
See, I remember the song.
Nintendo, it's for breakfast now.
See, I knew that.
Nintendo,
yeah, you knew.
It's a cereal. Wow.
And then that's haunted me for years, actually.
Yeah.
I don't remember the actual cereal.
It was like I said, you got 2 different flavors in one box.
What was the Mario flavor?
Like a fruity.
And what was the Zelda flavor?
Like a other fruity type thing.
2 different cereals. Okay, cool.
2 different cereals.
Completely different.
You could have one cereal. You could have another cereal. You could combine them. The crossover that we never knew we wanted until now.
Until Smash happened.
Yeah. So yeah, that's our first honorable mention.
Okay.
Our second honorable mention is any cereal that was ever branded after a Saturday morning cartoon, because they were all essentially the same.
Racking my brain.
Corn Crunches with marshmallows. So we got your Ninja Turtle cereal, your Real Ghostbuster cereal, your Spider-Man cereal, your, whatever.
Yeah.
It was all the same thing. It was great. None of them ever lasted. So
actually, I do remember the Ghostbusters one.
Yeah.
I think I remember making my mom buy it, and it wasn't that good.
It was all just like a repackaged, reshaped version of Lucky Charms.
But Lucky Charms are far superior.
Yeah. So those are our honorable mentions.
Fair enough.
C-3POs.
Mm-hmm.
Got the little cutout mask. All right. So, Drew, let's start with number 5.
Go.
Like I said, diversity. What do you bring to the table? This, I would say, is the most adult selection on the list. But I feel warrants being on the list.
This is number 5.
This is number 5.
Okay.
Frosted shredded wheat.
Full size or mini?
Mini.
Okay.
Gotta go with the mini. Here's why. Because full size, you just can't get a lot in the bowl. Mini size, you get a good portion in the bowl.
Yeah.
You're getting a good dose of fiber.
You don't have to you have to chop it up yourself.
Right? You're getting a good dose of fiber. A little frosted treat on the other side. And you know what, Drew? They are great as just like a snack in a bowl by themselves.
Oh, absolutely.
No milk.
Yeah.
Just now, people are going to chagrin that. They're like, dudes, shredded wheat, it's so dry. Why not? No.
The frosting makes you salivate.
The frosting gets in there, takes care of that little extra flavor.
Right.
They're just great to snack on. I would say as far as a milkless snack, the mini frosted shredded wheat is right up there with the Triscuit. You're getting the same kind of context, same kind of texture.
OG
Triscuit
Triscuits.
Frosted treat.
I would put frosted shredded wheat above the Triscuit, the base Triscuit.
Yes.
Now there are varieties of Triscuit.
Well,
now,
yeah,
and some of them are absolutely baller.
Sometimes
the smoked Gouda Triscuits.
Oh yeah,
dude, I will house a box.
Yep. Sometimes an improvement is made on an original. I say improvement in air finger quotes.
Yeah.
But you never get the improvement without the original. I say
True.
this as a segue in number 4 on the list.
Okay.
Number 4 on the list. Even though his rank is higher, his place on the list is number 4. We're going Cap'n Crunch for number 4.
Base Cap'n Crunch.
Base Cap'n Crunch.
Wow. All right.
Because that just great flavor to it. You know, and people are going to say crunch berries, peanut butter, valid points. Valid points. But you know what? You don't get to crunch berries and peanut butter without the original.
Well,
the original is the placeholder.
I'm gonna throw some shade on that. 2 things.
Okay.
1, I'm not a big fan of Cap'n Crunch flavor overall.
All right.
Just me. Number 2, I have 3 points. Texturally, oof, Cap'n Crunch was harsh. That hurt. It hurt the roof of my mouth.
It trained you to eat properly.
Yeah, I always regretted eating Cap'n Crunch. Let's put it that way. And number 3, I would disagree that you don't get to Peanut Butter Crunch without Cap'n Crunch. Because Peanut Butter Crunch, whereas Crunch Berries was berries mixed in with regular Cap'n Crunch,
right?
Peanut Butter Crunch it's all peanut butter. There is no regular Cap'n Crunch in it. And it's the bomb as a result.
Okay. I'm not saying it's not,
okay,
but I would counter that point with this. A peanut butter cereal was going to happen regardless.
Right.
So
I think your
placeholder.
That's why I'm knocking the placeholder.
Well, no, that's why I'm saying like the peanut butter version of Cap'n Crunch is almost inconsequential because we were going to get a peanut butter cereal regardless.
But you put it in there as the base, and I'm refuting the base is what I'm saying.
All right,
but go on, it's your list. So
open your opinions.
Yep,
wrong as they may be.
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's your list.
Number 3. The cereal I feel many people will say should be number 1. And I respect that opinion. I think number 3 and number 2 are very interchangeable. I'm very staunch on my number 1.
All right.
Number 3, Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
That's a strong top 3.
That's
a top 3 cereal on anyone's list.
Just an amazing event of flavor in your mouth when you take that first bite. Great texture.
Yeah.
You know, that lower on the list because not like it's cereal. You're not gonna like kind of eat it dry because then you got the same problem eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch dry as you do eating Cheetos. The dust.
It's dusty. Dust. It's dusty, but it's very edible on its own without
I'm not
milk.
saying it's not. I'm just saying like if I'm just watching something and not touching anything else, then yes, maybe.
Okay. That's fair. Right. I like it. I like it as a top 3.
Number 2, Trailblazer. Trailblazer in the cereal industry.
Okay.
Why? Because it said, cereal's great. So are marshmallows. Let's put the 2 together. And you get Lucky Charms.
Lucky Charms.
Lucky Charms is like probably the most immortal on the list. Because
it's a top 3 on anyone's list. It might be my number 1, but I'm not going to say that. I can't rank things.
I would argue that when you think kids' breakfast cereal, Lucky Charms is probably the first one that comes to mind.
It's
for most people.
It's magically delicious.
Yeah, it is magically delicious.
It's
Drew, can you name all the marshmallows?
There was a diamonds, horseshoes, clovers, shamrocks, moons. That's all I can remember.
I think there's a pot of gold in there too.
That sounds right. Didn't they? They had a new one. It was a real big deal when it happened.
I was gonna say, do you remember when they would introduce a new marshmallow?
Yeah,
that was like the thing.
Yeah, it was like Christmas for a kid. Like we have to. That box in the cupboard, throw it away. We need the new ones right now.
I don't care if we haven't opened it yet. Throw it away.
I remember this, making my mom go, "We need the new Lucky Charms." How do they taste?
They're magically delicious.
Same as they always do.
Exact same, but you know what?
The new shape and color.
The difference. All right, here we go, Drew. Number one.
All right.
I'm gonna let you. Before I get to it, I'm gonna let you take a guess what you think the number one might be. Let's recap the top 5 before we get to number one.
Let me recap.
Number 5, mini frosted shredded wheat.
Okay.
Number 4, Cap'n Crunch.
Okay.
Number 3, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Number 2, Lucky Charms.
Well,
I will tell you right now, you will not agree with number 1.
Oh, I just
most will all of our listeners not agree.
I can just based on the 4 you've put out there that are not number 1.
But that's okay. You know what? It's the duty top.
It's
5.
your top 5. I guarantee I won't agree with it. So I'm racking my brain over. There's a lot of breakfast cereal on the market here, and I know what I like. I'm not totally positive what you like, but I'm also thinking about nostalgia feels.
Yeah.
So there's 2 big ones that have not been named, but I don't know based on your flavor profile if either one is going to earn your top spot. I'm inclined to say no, they won't.
Okay.
But I have a dark horse, number 3. I'm going to throw it at you right now.
All right.
Is it Batman 89 breakfast cereal?
It is not.
Oh, okay. That was my dark horse.
No.
I had a lot of that as a kid.
I would say this, for a cereal to make it on this list, it would still have to be produced.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to hit you with the 2. No clue if this meets your criteria, but they're the big guns not yet drawn.
Okay.
Is it Trix?
It is not Trix.
Is it Fruit Loops?
It is not Fruit Loops.
Then I don't know what it could be.
Drew, let's talk about this number 1. This number 1 is so diverse in what it can do. But one of the
lowly Cheerio.
One of the most impressive things about this cereal is that it has outlived the brand that spawned it. The kids say do not know this brand as what it originally was. They only know it as this cereal or a vitamin. I'm talking about Fruity Pebbles.
Let
me tell you why Fruity Pebbles is number 1.
I couldn't disagree more, but
it's great as a cereal.
Okay.
It's great as just like take a quick handful, shove them in your mouth. You know what else is great as, Drew?
They're chips now.
You know what's freaking fantastic as? Ice cream toppings. Just absolutely incredible. Not like, great mouthfeel, as the foodies like to say nowadays. And they just, they're amazing. And they're Flintstones Fruity Pebbles. Kids say don't know what Flintstones are. They've outlived what spawned them. So that's it. Number 1 all time, Fruity Pebbles.
Man, I could not disagree more with that pick.
I could not care less. It's the duty top 5.
If you were to ask me my top 5, we have very different top 5 cereals.
But you don't do top 5.
I don't, but I could tell you that. Yeah, we have some overlap.
Would you say that Fruity Pebbles deserves a spot in a top 5?
No.
That's disappointing.
Not in mine. No. But I don't care for the fruity flavored cereals.
Okay, then
I find them repugnant.
All right.
I'm much more inclined for something like, again, Peanut Butter Crunch, all-timer, top 3 for me, maybe. Raisin Bran Crunch, top 3, maybe my number 1 actually is Raisin Bran Crunch. I will tear up Raisin Bran Crunch all day, every day for the rest of my life. I love it. It's amazing. I love Raisin Bran Crunch to death. There's probably a brand name equivalent, but Wegmans brand, peanut butter and jelly I had recently.
Okay.
Oh, amazing. Amazing.
So Drew, I'm gonna throw a challenge out there.
Okay.
I know it's not an ice cream per se.
Mm.
You get yourself some lime sherbet.
Okay.
Throw some Fruity Pebbles on there.
Dude, my teeth just I got that that's sensitive tooth feeling just thinking about that.
That's not good eating.
No.
That's good eating.
See, I feel this is where
just a little drizzle of caramel on there. Just a little bit.
This is revealing our flavor profile preferences here, Carl. See, you definitely you definitely lean sweet.
Well, for cereal, yeah.
I am the opposite. I am salty, savory guy.
Yeah, I don't want that for cereal.
Oh, I do.
I want something sweet.
No sweet.
All right.
No sweets.
So, that's top 5.
If listeners want to challenge me to stuff, I mean, for these lists, I could get down, but I need advance notice. Or I could just keep bouncing off of Carl's list too. Whatever.
The emails do come in. If they come in advance time, that because like I can't do a top 5 list the day before we record.
I need to think.
Need some prep time.
Yeah.
All right. So getting to our emails, starting with Mr. Adam Williams. Hey, Carl and Drew, so glad to have you both in the studio again. Was awesome to hear the clarity of the groans and the ahs as they came through my AirPods. Almost did a spit take there,
Almost.
Sir.
You got to watch out. I was not expecting that.
Love the idea of the Carl top 5s. Here's some to work with Carl. So he gave me a list. I chose one. The rest, Adam, thank you for submissions. You're going to be put in the file cabinet.
Put them in your pocket.
Pulled out that if needed at a later time. Want to keep it fresh and new here on the pod. Best grilled food items. Best board game I want to play again ASAP. Best in-person experiences you ever had. Best sequels in a movie franchise. And, of course, best breakfast cereals. As the summer begins to come, that means football is on the way. Drew, call me crazy. Isn't football in the fall?
It is. Training camps and stuff start up soon. I don't care.
I don't either.
It's like when baseball people are like, pitchers and catchers are reporting. What? Who cares? Play a game.
I would love to hear you and Drew do a game-by-game schedule prediction of the Bills' 2021 season.
I'm not Howard Simon. Come on.
Adam, you know what this show is. You know what this show is.
If he craves this content, WGR has him covered.
Yeah.
That's a sponsored segment now on the morning show.
Yeah. Listen, Adam, we love you. We appreciate you. We're not the place for that.
I mean, I'll give you one if you want, but
I mean, he wants, but like, we're gonna do it after saying this is not what we do.
It's not what we do, but I'll indulge him.
6-6. There you go.
Show me the schedule. Hold on.
8-8.
Week 1 this is preseason. Of course, you know how I know it's preseason?
Detroit.
Because why?
Yeah, it's tradition. It's like a Thanksgiving thing.
Who made that a tradition? The Lions are booty. Get them out of here. I don't want to play the Lions.
It's preseason. Who cares?
Hey, kids like to go to the preseason games. Families,
because they don't know any better.
Then give them a better quality opponent. Anyway, week 1 Steelers
win. A home or away?
Win. Home. Win. At Dolphins.
Win.
Home.
Wait, at Dolphins? No, I'm going to say loss because I usually tend to split the division series in most cases.
Okay. I'm saying loss to the Dolphins. All right. Yeah. I'll say win Dolphins. Home Washington. Win. Home Houston.
Win.
I'll pencil a win. At Kansas City, loss. At Tennessee. Didn't go so well last year, and last year was a good year.
I'm going to say loss.
I'm going to say loss. Okay, you got a bye week. Home Dolphins, win. At Jacksonville, win. At Jets, win. Home Colts,
win.
At Saints, Breeze is gone, win. Home Patriots, win. Yeah, I can't. Imagine the world we live in. We can just confidently say that now.
Yeah.
Now, granted, things could change. They did a lot of crazy stuff in the offseason.
True.
At Tampa,
loss.
I'm calling it a win.
Good for you. Tom Brady dies in a horrible plane accident, then yeah, it'll be a win.
I'll call some people. I'll get started on that.
What has taken you so long?
I know. Well, I was younger then. I didn't have the connections I have now. The long reach of the Devil's Due wasn't there yet.
The long reach. Okay, so Tampa Bay. You're calling that a win.
I'm calling it a win. Yeah, I think. Go hard. Home Panthers win. At Patriots win.
Loss.
I'm calling it a win.
Splitting it.
Okay. Home Falcons
win.
That's a win. Home Jets win.
Adam, the Jets are the ones I won't split because that's.
He let him tally that. I don't.
Yeah, I did.
There you go. Done. And we're not doing it every week, so that's it.
No, stop that.
Have him tally it. We'll put it on the wall, and then next year we'll look at it.
I mean, will we though?
No. No, we won't.
We probably won't.
Okay. Hey, by the way, I have the marshmallows up if you want to know what they were.
Yeah.
Okay. The first box Lucky Charms contained marshmallows in the shapes of pink hearts, yellow moons, orange stars, green clovers. That was it. Now, beginning in 1975, they introduced the blue diamond, followed by the purple horseshoe in 1983.
I remember the purple horseshoe.
Okay.
I remember the marketing push behind that. It was big.
Red balloons, 1989.
It was G.W. Bailey big.
Wow. Green trees, 1991.
Yeah, red balloons and green trees didn't stick around. Green trees, who cares?
Yeah, that's weak.
Get those out of here.
Especially when you had clovers. I mean, why would you bother with green trees? Blue moons, 95. I'll allow the blue moons. But then again, you got diamonds and one shape, one color, done. No repeating. Leprechaun hats in 1997 temporarily replaced the green clovers. Blasphemy. Orange shooting stars.
If memory serves, there was a green clover inside the leprechaun hat.
That could be right.
So I'll allow
it. Orange shooting stars and around the world charms in 1998.
Yeah.
Don't remember that at all. Actually, you know what? I take it back. I do remember the orange shooting star. A crystal ball in 2001. No memory of that.
No.
An hourglass in 2008. No memory of that.
Mm-mm.
And a unicorn in 2019. No. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to read you the whole history here because but I think possibly for the next show, based on the current list of marshmallows, next episode that we do, we're doing Marshmallow Survivor. Someone's got to go.
Nice. Alrighty. Cool. All right. Next email is from Mr. Cyrus Moore. Greetings, gentlemen. Hope you are well. Just saw the book 9 of The Expanse is finished. Great news. Even further, if it turns out that the writers had a bet with George R.R. Martin that they could write their 9th book series before George released Winds of Winter.
Well,
and
they win.
Were right. Yes. I love the idea of doing top 5s and have a random suggestion out of left field. One of my favorite movies and a highly underrated movie is highly underrated movie at that is Edge of Tomorrow, or AKA Live, Die, Repeat.
Have not seen it. Know of it. Haven't seen it.
It's enjoyable. Great spin on the Groundhog Day concept with high action and some pretty funny moments. Carl, rank your top 5 Bill Cage deaths. Bill Cage was a character in Groundhog Day?
That's Phil Connors.
Oh.
Bill Cage's character in I don't remember Tom Cruise.
I don't remember the film enough to remember the character's main name. So, Cyrus,
tomorrow.
Needless to say, this doesn't bode well for your top 5.
Character's name is Ed Cage. Or whatever.
Sorry,
Brian Cage? Bill Cage? Not Brian Cage.
No.
Christian Cage?
Yeah. So we'll do a real quick one here for you, Cyrus, because you're always good with sending us emails. Number 5, the one where he gets shot. Number 4, the one where he gets blown up. Number 3, the one where he gets dysentery. Number 2, the one where he gets deported. Number 1, the one where he realizes that he's just in a movie. The last 3 I made up.
Good deal.
I remember it being a good movie. I don't remember like explicit details of it.
Okay. All right. I mean, we could rank the Phil Connors deaths if you want.
A lot of them.
A lot of them.
All right, folks, it does it for the emails. Thank you for those of you who wrote in. We appreciate it. And folks, the email box is always open. Send us, you want a Duty Top 5, send in the idea for it. Send us an email, ask us some questions. Give us something to discuss on the show. Give us topics to discuss. We're always open to that. We love hearing from you. So we're going to move on right now to really the only news that is worth talking about today. And that is E3 is wrapping up. Oh, that's neat. I'm sorry, folks. I'm very distracted by one of Drew's
my multiple screwdriver.
That is so cool, folks. I can only describe this if you've been in elementary school from the 80s forward. You remember the pens that had the 3 different pens in them, the 3 different colored ink, like the red, the black, and the green or the blue or the whatever. Imagine a screwdriver like that. This thing is cool. I'm stealing it. All right. So getting on to the news of the day, E3 wrapping up today. Normally a pretty big deal, although not in recent years.
It's done?
I think today
Did
was
Sony do anything?
Sony wasn't at E3 this year.
Weird
Drew,
flex, but okay.
Let's do a pulse check on E3 prior to pandemic.
Yes.
It was already a big decline.
It was, but it's still...
Nintendo was doing their own thing. Sony started doing their own thing. The only one that was still there was Microsoft.
Yeah.
Doing a full traditional E3 press conference.
Sure.
Nintendo did their directs. Sony started doing days of play. And honestly, I'm not going to knock Sony for not being there this year because, what are you going to show up and say? Hey, folks, here's that new game coming out for that system that you're probably not going to get your hands on until at least next spring.
I mean, Microsoft is there, so they're in the same boat.
Yeah, but if I delay money, if I went all out and tried to get a new system, I would bet that I could probably get a new Xbox before I could get a new PlayStation 5.
You're probably right. Which brings up an interesting...
It's me, I'm always right.
Me too. It's the damnedest thing. I guess that brings up a fun point. I had a moment of realization at this E3 over the last couple of days, and I'm surprised by it.
You're joining the Master Race, aren't you?
PC Master Race?
Yeah.
No. I dabbled in those waters before, and it's too much. Stop that. It's too much to keep up with. There's a lot of keeping up with the Joneses and whatnot in the PC arms race. I can't get into all that. It's too much. Not to mention it's super expensive. Different graphics cards and trying to get a good one, and then you're gonna, then you gotta
get the flashy lights for inside the box.
Oh, that's all whatever. I don't care about that. But you're talking about
True. Gotta get the flashlights inside the box.
I mean, you're looking at well over $1,000 to get something beefy, because the pressure is always there to I have to get the best card I can possibly get.
Yep.
And you really don't, but you feel like you do because you can. Whereas with a console, it's locked. That's it. You get the console, you're in. There's no, until recently with iterative versions, but regardless. And that's ultimately that's why consoles took off, because they were a set box of features, and that was it. You didn't have to mess around with drivers, you didn't have to mess around with updates, you didn't have to worry about your game not being compatible with something going forward, etc. No.
Right.
Got the box, you can play the game. In the last few days, something that I didn't think was going to happen is kind of happening, and that is that I might be swinging back towards Team Xbox this time around.
I mean, aside from, it's not what it used to be. Between PlayStation and Xbox, I prefer the Sony brand personally, just because it's what I've had, it's what I'm comfortable with. But it's not what it used to be, where there was a largely discernible difference between the two. I think you both have, next gen powerhouses that games are going to look great on.
Yep.
You're going to have essentially minus 1, maybe 2 titles, the same games on both systems.
Well, that's where we're at now. Unfortunately, fortunately,
yeah.
Microsoft has taken some big swings as in recent times.
Yeah,
and that's that's paying dividends for them now, because 2 games that they showed in the last couple of days spoke to me directly, and they're only going to be on Xbox or PC.
Yeah,
that being Starfield, which is basically, from what they're saying, literally Skyrim in space.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, speaking my language. And number 2, The Outer Worlds 2.
Yes.
I loved Outer Worlds, the first one. Pleasant surprise. I had no idea that game was going to be as cool as it was, and I really, really, really enjoyed it. So they're giving me another one. Take my money. I'm here.
I can't fault you. I mean, it's you'll probably be able to get one sooner. You've got games identified that you want on it.
Yep.
I mean, I stay pretty much in the PlayStation camp now because of Street Fighter.
Sure. I
mean, that's but the non-Nintendo games that you are diehard loyalists for, Doom, Mass Effect, things like that, get them on either one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not going to fault you for getting Xbox.
Well, future Doom installments might be a different story, but because Bethesda, Microsoft, yeah. But those 2 sci-fi RPGs automatically are I really want to play those.
Yep.
So the X, and again, I'm not, it's not a knock on the PlayStation. It's just, I during the 2 gens ago, weird to say, I was Team Xbox. The 360 ate the PS3's lunch as far as I'm concerned. The library was deep. It was a cheaper system to buy. It was I loved my Xbox 360 as much as I loved almost any Nintendo console I ever had. The 360 got played. I played that thing.
Yeah.
PS3 just didn't have the same appeal to me.
Had a rough start out of the gate.
Yeah, and
towards the end of its life, it was a baller system.
It got there, but when the things were in the thick of it, it just wasn't there for me. Next time around, I did not like the Xbox One. It just did not work for me. PS4 worked for me very well.
Yep.
This time around, again, we're talking about 2 imaginary things at the moment because neither of us can get one. But right now, just from where I'm sitting, the library for the Xbox is looking pretty good.
All right.
And none of the Sony exclusives are really calling a name. You must have me right now. Now, dude, they can come out tomorrow and Insomniac can be like, "Oh, we're doing a new Spider-Man, like a whole new Spider-Man."
Oh, they will.
Or we're gonna expand that even further, and it's gonna be like, we're doing a Defenders game, not just Spider-Man. We're doing Daredevil, Luke Cage, and everyone else. Here you go, but it's like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll buy a PS5 in a back alley somewhere tomorrow if that's the case. But right now, that's not the case. So whatever. Right. So yeah. Anyway.
All right. So, but those things aside, Drew, you're a very happy man today because today Nintendo had their Direct.
They did.
And a lot of rumors and everything floating around about what we would get, what we wouldn't get.
Hey, did you hear they're going to announce the Switch Pro?
Oh, yeah. New Switch Pro.
Nope.
That's next year's E3.
Not a peep was made about that.
But...
Hey, big Zelda 3D Anniversary Collection. You hear about that?
I will.
Nope.
Zelda fans kind of got the shaft. Not gonna lie.
Let me be
as far. We'll get there. We'll get there. But the one thing that was always joked about, because it's been a source of so much suffering for so many, yours, Truly's co-host included, is the presence of Metroid Prime 4. And Drew, you kind of got an announcement on Metroid Prime 4 in that we're still working on it.
But
that, so you got the most, for like 10 seconds, you got the most of what you expected.
Yeah.
And then the floodgates just opened.
Let me walk you through this. So the fact that they brought it up, I was kind of like, they were like, the development continues on Metroid Prime 4, and we apologize. And I'm like, okay, well they're talking about it.
Yeah.
So
the Stockholm Syndrome.
Surely they're going to. Well, no, my this is all happening over the course of a few seconds. Okay, they're making it a point to talk about it.
Right. In a notable Direct.
Right. So that means like if they had nothing to say, they would say nothing, right? So I'm like, okay, they're going to bring it up. It's still delayed. Okay, but you're going out of your way to say it, so maybe they're going to show something, wet the beak a little, just, give me a taste. And then they went and basically pulled the rug out from under me. I audibly screamed several times because I could not believe what they decided to. This is like the greatest apology in the history of apologies. Like, yeah, Metroid Prime 4, still not here, still can't show you. We're really sorry, but we got this instead.
What did they have, Drew?
They dropped Metroid 5 on us, yo.
Yep.
And let me give you the lay of the land. Let me give you
listeners who may not know, because you're saying, hey, they're not coming out with 4, but they're coming out with 5.
The Prime games are a subset of games that take place in between Super Metroid and Metroid Fusion. Let me give you the chronology of Metroid canon, the core games as it stands. Metroid 1 is the original Metroid, or Zero Mission if you want to go that one, which, by the way, is a phenomenal game. Zero Mission is like the greatest reimagining of an original game. Anyway, Metroid 2 is Metroid 2 Return of Samus, or if you like, Samus Returns on the 3DS.
Yep.
Once again, phenomenal. And the developer of that, by the way, is making this new one, which we'll get to that. Metroid 3 is Super Metroid, still arguably one of the greatest games ever made, period, full stop, and my personal favorite game ever made. Metroid 4 is Metroid Fusion. And for 20 years, Metroid Fusion was the last chronological game in the series canon. So when they said, when Metroid 5 splattered on my screen, I was like, what? I was like, what? And then we saw what it was.
If memory serves, Metroid Fusion was not well received.
At the time, people had mixed reactions to it, but I'll go ahead and tell you it's next to Super Metroid, it's probably the second best 2D Metroid game.
Okay.
It's a great game.
Yeah.
By any measure, Metroid Fusion is pretty dope. That and Zero, between that and Zero Mission, I'm going to give Zero Mission a slight edge, but I haven't played either in a while, but they're both phenomenal. So the Fusion hate can go away. Fusion's a great game.
Yeah.
Neither is Super Metroid. Again, Super Metroid is transcendent, but they're great games. So this is Metroid 5. And the title, when they revealed the title, dude, I gasped. I yelled a second time, like, what? Okay, Metroid Dread. Let me take you back, Carl.
He is the law.
Not that Dread. This is the Carl Urban Metroid game right here. Let me say this alone. All right, let me walk you back some ways. Now, if you go on Wikipedia, the chronology of this gets muddy.
Yeah.
But here's what I'm going to tell you based on my recollection from 15 some odd years ago. When they announced Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, they also announced a new portable Metroid game, 2D, for, at the time, it might have been the Game Boy Advance, possibly. Maybe the DS. One of the two. And it was called Metroid Dread. And this is where my memory gets real hazy, and I know this exists because I know I've seen it on the internet, on YouTube, somewhere. Somehow, somewhere, literally 3 seconds of footage of that game made some kind of sizzle reel or something. I seen it. I know I seen it. Okay? I can't find it anymore. YouTube now, if you search Metroid Dread, is just filled with today's announcements. So it's wherever this little snippet of footage is, man, it's buried. But I'm telling you, I saw it. Okay?
Okay, Drew.
It was announced. This was announced 15 years ago. And then no mention of it ever again. There is an Easter egg in Metroid Prime 3, because in Metroid Prime games you do a lot of scanning and reading of data. And there was a data scan that said, Project Dread is nearing completion, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And it was ooh, look at that, see? And that was it. Nothing has been spoken about Metroid Dread in 15 years. Until today. So, we're getting a new Metroid game. It is Metroid Dread. It is from the makers. It's from Nintendo, as well as their partner studio that made the Samus Returns Metroid 2 Return of Samus remake for the 3DS, which was great. I enjoyed it thoroughly. So those guys are behind this new game that we did not know was coming. And then when I saw the look of it and the developer behind, I'm like, we should have saw this coming.
Yes.
Samus Returns did well enough where they're like, we should maybe do more of this. Yeah, and this is all I've wanted. Prime 4, I was all in. Fine. Give me more. More Metroid is great. Give it to me. However, Carl, in my elder years, I am more secure than ever with my staunch belief that Metroid belongs in the 2D world.
Yep.
Like the first person, they're great. Love them. But for me, there is no greater satisfaction than a Metroidvania game proper. And this is certainly that. So, I got Metroid 5 announced for me. Like,
not only are you getting Metroid 5, you're getting it this year.
Dude,
in October, and they showed gameplay.
You should have heard me when the title came up on the screen at the end of the footage.
Yeah,
and it was just sitting there. I was like, "Give me a date." I was literally saying, "Give me a date. Just give me a date.
Give me a date."
And then October this year. Oh my god! How did they keep this a secret for so long?
I mean, they're Nintendo. They're very good at doing that.
That's incredible that they had this in their pocket and were just like, oh yeah, it's coming. And it's coming sooner than you realize. I'm hyped for it. I watched some of the Treehouse footage of it, and it looks like if you played the Samus Returns 3DS game, you're very much... you should know what to expect, but Samus has a lot more action-y abilities, so they're working on like more momentum, more speed, and more things for her to be able to do besides jump and shoot. So it looks pretty cool.
It seems very much like she is the hunted in this game.
Now, see, that's where it gets interesting.
The hunter.
Yes. The title is not just
Dread.
It's not just a clever name. They're trying to induce fear, basically, in the player by when this machine that is stalking Samus, when it gets near you, you better
you can't
hide.
Fight it.
You can't fight. No, it will wreck you. So it's like Mr. X in Resident Evil 2. That's a deep pull for you, but that's scary stuff. And the thing I like about that, that harkens back to Fusion, where there were sections in Fusion where Dark Samus, which was a parasite-infected version of Samus's original suit, stalks you throughout the game, and you never know when she's going to show up. And when she does, you basically swallow your heart, and you panic, and you have to run away and hide because she will wreck you. And it's like some of the most memorable stuff in Metroid Fusion. So it's pretty sweet that they are now basing an entire new game around that idea, at least seemingly. So I say, bring on the dread. Let's go.
Yes.
So yeah, this E3 was won for me personally by Nintendo for this single drop alone.
Nintendo had a really solid showing, and as we were discussing in our chat, I'm very happy for you and Alan.
Oh,
so you guys got a lot of stuff to look forward to. For me, not a lot there. That's fine. I'm good with it.
I'm also here for the Monkey Ball Collection. That game was amazing.
Monkey Ball is great.
And as long as they didn't alter the Monkey Target in the original game, we are going to have ourselves some game nights here playing Monkey Target.
Monkey, the aerial combat was...
Don't put that on my MIDI controller.
See what I did there?
I don't like Fruity using my label maker to send me messages across as we do the show.
Yeah.
Fruity Pebbles
rocks.
I see what you did there.
See what I did there?
Yeah,
See, clever?
Very clever.
That's for you.
Thank you.
I didn't fasten it.
Monkey Ball.
Monkey Ball.
Trust me.
What else? Advance Wars.
I'm here for the Advance Wars reissue too. Those games are super fun and very deep. Great strategy games. Super enjoyable. I'm definitely a fan of that. WarioWare. It took forever. They're finally doing new WarioWare.
Yeah.
Another party game.
Saw that.
So what you have to throw out in the like mini games is a terrible term for what WarioWare presents. It presents micro games in rapid succession that you have to complete some stupid, silly objective in a very short amount of time in rapid succession against other players. It's crazy. It's frantic. It's often embarrassingly fun. I highly recommend it, especially with other people. WarioWare is a very fun game.
Okay.
You got to trust me here.
So, getting back to kind of what we first touched on when we started talking about this, it's the 35th anniversary year for Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
I feel like...
And technically Metroid.
Yes, and technically Metroid, but we live in the really real world, and we know where they both lie in the pecking order from the perspective of Nintendo.
Getting a dope steelbook.
Did see that. I feel like that... Now, granted, this is not to say they're not going to do something later, despite what they blatantly said in the Direct. I feel like the Zelda fans kind of got the shaft when it comes to the 35th anniversary treatment. Now, I say that, and I can hear you all now, but they showed Breath of the Wild 2. That's great. Breath of the Wild 2, awesome. Happy for everyone who's looking forward to that game. What I'm saying is, like, from the 35th anniversary perspective, when you compare what they did for Mario and what they're doing for their, kind of 1B as far as franchises go, Mario got the 3D collection, they got the Game Watch, a whole bunch of like other little things. Zelda got a Game & Watch.
Yeah.
And that was it.
You're getting Skyward Sword HD. That's coming out, lest we forget.
Plus, we also remember the meme that said the one game that no one was asking for.
Well, here's the irony about that. And I laugh at that because it's,
it's true.
It's truthy. I'm not going to, it's a good game. I'm not going to poo-poo it. But I just don't think it was realistic to expect a collection in the same way that you would get a Mario collection.
Why not? Zelda 3D All-Stars. Like,
mainly because
I mean, you can't do the classic games because they're already all on the virtual consoles.
They are, exactly. So that's strike one.
Yeah.
They've recently done those already, released them and sold them. Like Ocarina and Majora's Mask were both redone on 3DS in the last 5 years.
But Drew, if there's one thing we've established, Nintendo likes money.
They do, but
are you telling me that if you got a collection of the 3D Zelda games on a Switch, 35th anniversary packaging and whatnot, you would not get that?
I would, but I also, there's almost too much there for them to put that into a $60 package. In fact, that's probably why they won't do it. Ocarina, Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, Skyward Sword. Those are like the 5 3D Zelda games.
You picked the biggest 3. So, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. Make an argument for your third. And then...
See, the thing there is that they also did Wind Waker HD already as well and sold that.
Yeah. But I go back to my previous point. Nintendo likes money.
They do, but why are they going to collect all that for $60 when they can probably piecemeal them out to you for $60 a piece?
Because more people probably buy the collection for $60 then. Because if they bring out all 3 of those games at $60 a pop, people will buy 1, maybe 2, not all 3.
I'm going to go ahead and disagree with you there. Zelda fans will pony up. You just space them out the right way. Trust me, they'll buy them all.
I'm just saying. I feel like they kind of got the shaft.
To be fair, I'm kind of. Zelda fans have eaten well over the last little while.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But so have Mario fans.
But they're not crying for, stuff. Zelda fans want to play victim here. I'm a Metroid fan. I've seen this. You don't get to tell me that you're disappointed.
You don't get to tell me about a drought.
Do you know how, because I was talking with my friends today and I was like, do you know how easy it would have been in light of Metroid 5 being announced for October? You could package the 2D games in a collection and drop it at the same time.
Yep.
And it'd be so easy. Like the 2D games, come on. You telling me that couldn't be done like that? But that's not happening.
Yeah.
And as we all sit here waiting for Prime 4, you're going to tell me that they already have Metroid Prime Trilogy on Wii. I had it. They could just
do it again.
Repackage it with standard controls, put it out for the Switch, and have a nice day. Nope, ain't doing that. So Zelda fans are fine. You're fine. Okay. You got the Hyrule Warriors game, and you got trust me, man.
Did you see they're coming out with the Dynasty Warriors movie on Netflix?
Incredible.
And it looks very much like the game.
Just fields of dudes getting killed.
I'm kind of here for that. I'm not going to lie.
That's awesome. Look, they could have done more, but I mean,
the Nintendo presentation was good.
I had fun. Solid. I've seen some people poo-pooing it. It's like, what did you...
I don't get, even me, who we've had numerous debates on this. I'm like, hey, it's a good presentation. A lot of good stuff in there. You know?
I think it just bolsters the Switch's already great lineup with all this. You got your nostalgia collections. You got new stuff coming. Everything's great. I'm happy. It really literally fired up like my video game sense again. I've been pretty on gaming for a while.
Yeah.
Today I was just kind of like, oh man, this year's gonna be.
Let's play some.
I'm playing some games this year. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm happy.
Splatoon 3 teaser would have killed you.
Clarification. That Guardians of the Galaxy for the Switch.
Yeah.
Cloud version.
Okay.
So it's not a port.
Cloud from Final Fantasy.
No, it's not a port.
Oh, okay.
It's streamed. You are not playing the game on the. You're playing the game on the Nintendo Switch, but you are playing it via the Nintendo Switch, where the game is actually being housed on a server somewhere far, far away.
How are you, air finger quotes, purchasing the game?
You will buy it for a price in the eShop or whatever, and you will play it on the over the internet.
That'll be interesting to see how that happens.
They've done this for many games actually in Japan already. I think actually the Resident Evil remakes for PlayStation are on Switch, but they are cloud versions.
Yeah.
I don't know how good they are. I don't know how the lag is. I don't know these things, but this is a thing. So that Guardians game actually looks kind of fun. That has my attention a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a Sony exclusive? No, clearly it's on Switch. Yeah. So if it makes its way over to the Xbox, it's one more feather in the Xbox cap for me.
Sure.
I don't want to play a remote internet game. To me, it's just I can't do it.
I mean, I get that. I get I understand the argument.
Streaming is the future. Well, great, but I want to have it on my shelf.
Yeah.
But that's me.
Yeah. All right. So that's pretty much our news for the week. Yeah, I know our stuff happened, but we got our fun stuff to talk about.
Okay.
Like Loki.
We can talk about Loki.
Drew, what'd you think of Loki? First episode.
I enjoyed it. So don't let my exasperated sigh sour you. Tom Hiddleston is tremendous.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He's got a gold jacket.
Dude. Gold jacket. I can watch him.
Fine Asgardian leather.
I could watch him. Yes, that's right. I can watch him play Loki forever. Like he's awesome. And the interesting thing that they reiterate in the episode is that this isn't the Loki that we saw over the course of the film.
Loki.
Yeah, this is like OG villain Loki.
Yep.
So he didn't have all that character development, although it looks like he might have gotten a crash course in it when he watches his life. But how much of it does he internalize? How much of it does he really feel? That remains to be seen. So I'm here for it. It looks exciting, looks fun. We're doing some timey-wimey stuff. But that also, it's a double-edged sword.
Yes.
Because it really, well, while the show goes to lengths to say, like, there is one sacred timeline.
Yep.
Which does mean, like, okay, well, then there are stakes. Things do matter because there is one sacred timeline.
Yep.
Do they, though? Because clearly there are variants out there and there are other things happen. So we're getting into this is kind of like a bit of a fear that I've had about the multiverse idea. And that is, you start introducing the idea of variations and stuff, then you're kind of introducing the idea that there are no stakes. And Marvel movies already have a reputation of being like, well, there's really no stakes.
I don't get where they get that reputation from.
Because things kind of always seem to. It's just like it's just like the comics. Like there's the illusion of change, the illusion of stakes, but things generally stay the same. Things only change so much, and now you're introducing alternate timelines into it. It's like, well, I mean, you know,
I have said numerous times to you in private and on the show that time travel is the storytelling tool you go to when you've run out of tools in the box. And it breeds more problem than it does successes. I still fully believe that. That being said,
yeah,
we have many times talked about Marvel's line of credit.
Yes.
I enjoyed this immensely more than I thought I was going to.
All right.
And it's not because of the big stuff that was going on in the show. It's because of the little stuff, the interpersonal revelations Loki is going through.
I think that's the whole point of the show.
And I'm sorry, Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston together in a scene, give me more of that. Because like just the and I'm hoping that that's like we discussed like with WandaVision's story about trauma. You know, Falcon Winter Soldier's story about legacy and race relations in America. You know, what is Loki going to be about? Is Loki going to be, you know, an extremely interpersonal, micro, macro, you know, who decides what my destiny is?
Right, right.
You know, and I'm very much here for that. I know it's gonna be a fun ride along the way, and I'm gonna enjoy the ride. But like, I'm really interested to see what happens internally with Loki.
I think I think that's the whole crux. With if they're not interested in telling that story, then they wouldn't have made the show.
Yeah,
and I think that was evident in the first episode. Like, if you're just gonna do time travel shenanigans, like they do the DB Cooper scene, right, where Loki was DB Cooper.
Yeah,
and like I think I saw that in like the trailer when they first like unveiled it. I was like, oh, it's gonna be like Loki just going through time doing stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, and that could be a fun show unto itself, right?
Loki just hopping around time with the Tesseract,
right?
Yeah.
But then you get to the question: well, wait, why? What, you know, like what's and what's the point there? And very clearly in the conversation with Owen Wilson, like, no, we're going to have that stuff, but we're getting to the core. Like, yeah, but what do you really want? Like,
yeah,
are you really bad? Do you really enjoy being a villain? Like, it got deep quickly.
Yeah, like that part where he's sitting down is like, I don't like to hurt people.
Right.
I do, like he said it, and then he had to reaffirm it to himself.
Right.
It's like, I don't like to hurt people. I don't. But it's part of the facade, you know, and it really, Like, that's the part of the show where I really perked up. Like, I was enjoying it, having a good time. But, like, once it got to that scene, I was like, oh,
we're going
deep.
Yeah. And again, I don't think they bother doing it unless that was the point of it. We're going to get into, they're going to get into the psyche of Loki.
Yeah. Like, I'm wondering what the one-line pitch for the show is. Like, when you think about, WandaVision, I think about that show, I think the one-line pitch is, what happens when you've lost everything, but you can change anything?
Right.
The one-line pitch for Falcon Winter Soldier, can a black man be Captain America in 2020 in America? What's this one going to be? And I'm really interested to see the ride they're taking on it. It's not a surprise to me that I'm, buying in more than I thought I would, because again, we've said it ad nauseum. It's Marvel.
Yeah.
They're good at this.
Where does it go? Now, do you think, spoilers, the swerve there is that the time people need him.
Yeah.
Now, let's be clear. This time thing, like, we're really, think about where we started with the Iron Man movie. Very grounded.
Yep.
And now we're like, oh no, there's this time variance authority that oversees all of reality and maintains the timeline of everything.
Yeah.
Like, what? Okay. I guess they were just chilling out when the Avengers were going back in time doing stuff, but then I guess that was supposed to happen, right?
It's one of those things that, like, just because a being has power to influence or change the outcome of an event doesn't mean they're inclined to do so.
Right. No, I get that for sure.
So it's like, it goes back to the classic line in the Avengers. An ant has no quarrel with the boot. For all we know, Thanos in the Infinity Gauntlet was the ant, and TVA was the boot.
Yeah. Well, we see the Infinity Stones in a drawer, so
right.
As paperweights.
Yeah.
So whatever. So spoilers. Loki is being brought in to help track down and investigate whatever another variant that is doing damage to the timeline, or attempting to do damage to the timeline, and apparently it is another version of himself. In the final scene of the first episode, we see said damage being done in a field of fire, a hooded individual committing said acts. We are told that it is Loki, but we are not shown that it is Loki.
Right.
So in my opinion, they are clearly hinting at it's either going to be someone else, or it's going to be a very different version of Loki than we have seen before.
I mentioned this on some of our more recent episodes, and this is not to besmirch what you were saying or anything, but I'm very done with theorizing what is to come. I'm very much in a headspace right now where I just want to enjoy the ride.
We're going to
talk about what has happened.
Yeah.
I'm all for that, but I'm not going to spend like half an hour, 40 minutes saying, "Oh, the devil's in the stained glass window. It must be Mephisto." What if that was really Peggy Carter in the scene? They said it was it. You know what?
By the way, that stained glass window. Do you think that was very intentional?
Oh, God, yeah.
Like, it's Mephisto.
I'm sure it was totally something else that probably looked more like Loki.
Yeah. Prior
to WandaVision coming out, and then they just went and CGI'd it to ape the fans, which I love. But it's just like, again, listen, I just want to enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
No, I want to sit here the whole time theorizing. Just give me the next one.
Well,
we get tomorrow.
I will not. I'm on the weekend schedule, so I will not see it until then. I don't like these Wednesday drops, to be honest with you. It gives me too much time to wait until I have to dodge spoilers for days. But fair enough, Marvel. You do your thing. They must have metrics that say that this was a better move than Fridays. But
I think it was more during the summertime. There's more competition on Fridays traditionally, especially now that things are kind of getting back to normal.
Yeah.
And you don't want, and like, they don't want to compete with themselves either, because I believe Loki will still be going when Black Widow comes out. So
that's that's soon. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I was saying that.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
No, never mind. No.
What?
No. We're good.
Okay. So Drew, we talked about Loki. We talked about some news. We've had a lot of fun. I have a question for you.
Oh, sir. No.
Is 1989 the greatest year in movie history? Now, I sent you this question earlier to ponder, and you asked me for a list. I was like, no. I'm gonna wait. There goes the clickety clack of the keyboards.
I'm looking up the movies released in 1989.
All right. So I got the list right here. The 200 top grossing films of 1989. Not going to go through all of them.
I don't need the top grossing. Just
it's a good summary of. Okay. So number 1 on the list, Batman.
Obviously.
Number 2, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Okay. Respectable.
Lethal Weapon 2. Diplomatic Immunity.
Okay.
That one was for Jay.
Okay.
Rain Man.
Okay.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Okay. That's fine.
Ghostbusters 2.
The lesser, but good.
Dead Poets Society. Parenthood.
Good.
Back to the Future 2.
The better of the sequels.
When Harry Met Sally.
Overrated, but breakout from Meg Ryan.
As dog people, we can appreciate Turner and Hooch.
I can.
Uncle Buck.
Classic.
Field of Dreams. Twins.
Yeah. I like Twins. This is good.
Pet Sematary. The Abyss.
I like The Abyss.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Overrated, but okay, I get it.
Now we're kind of getting into later round picks where there's some quality picks in here. Major League.
Strong. Very strong.
The Little Mermaid. Let's see. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Good. It's good.
The Burbs.
Cult classic. The Burbs. I'm a Burbs guy.
The Naked Gun.
That's a good one.
Fletch Lives. Not as good as the first, but still. Let's see. Lean on Me.
Good movie.
Great movie. Weekend at Bernie's. Do not besmirch Weekend at Bernie's, sir. That is comedy gold.
It's certainly a movie.
Roadhouse.
Okay.
The Dream Team.
I like the Dream Team.
Michael Keaton having a banner year in 89.
I like that movie actually a lot.
Do the Right Thing.
Good movie.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Lock Up. Sylvester Stallone gem. Underrated gem.
Yeah.
Say Anything. All Dogs Go to Heaven. Casualties of War. Fabulous Baker Boys. Tango and Cash.
I mean, just because we recognize
Tango and Cash.
It's a movie.
It's an experience.
You're not wrong.
No Holds Barred.
Okay, see now you're taking
that one. I just threw in there for laughs.
That's not helping, man.
Okay, now we're going back to the good ones. Tequila Sunrise.
Okay.
Kickboxer.
Kickboxer's good.
Let's see here.
I mean, you've made a strong case.
I'm not done yet. Young Einstein.
Oh, what? Get out of here with the Young Einstein.
I'm gonna get you.
Are you Yahoo serious right now?
I'm gonna get you, sucker.
That's good. It's good.
Amazing. Person, always. I like it. The Richard Dreyfuss, John Goodman, Steven Spielberg. Last screen appearance of the late great Audrey Hepburn. They play the forest firefighters, the pilots in the planes. Richard Dreyfuss dies. Yeah, I like that movie. Cyborg.
Oof. Okay, you're scraping bottom now.
No, because we're gonna have an uptick. Because you got to remember.
Is this chronological? Where'd you get this list from?
This is gross.
Oh.
This is gross. So as we're going down the list, we're getting lower and gross. But you got to remember, films released at the later part of the year, not as big box office because it's a calendar year. So, but trust me. Adventures of Baron Munchausen, The Wizard,
oh God,
Scrooged.
Scrooged is quality.
Let's see here. UHF.
I'm a UHF guy.
Yeah.
So
probably not one for you, but I remember enjoying it as a kid. Dream a Little Dream, a Corey and Corey joint.
Yeah. License to Drive or Go Home.
I'm not gonna dispute that at all. Let's see here. Loverboy, Patrick Dempsey classic.
Have those words ever been put together before? A Patrick Dempsey classic?
Earth Girls Are Easy.
Oh, okay.
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum. I know.
Stop. Jeff Goldblum. Let's see here.
I mean,
not done yet. The Adventures of Milo and Otis. Let's see. All right. Not a solid entry on list, but still worth noting. Best of the Best. Eric Roberts classic.
Again. Wasn't there a pen in those too? One of the lesser pens?
Yes.
Chris Penn, maybe?
The dead one.
Oh.
I mean, sorry, the guy's dead. What do you want from me? Little Monsters.
I'm a fan of Little Monsters.
The Toxic Avenger Part 2.
I am a fan of that.
Born on the 4th of July.
Probably Tom Cruise's second best performance.
Behind?
Magnolia.
Okay. Toxic Avenger Part 3. It's both in the same year.
The Part 2.
Glory.
Okay.
Let's see. That will be the last of my entry. So again, I am not saying for certain.
Okay.
1989 is the greatest year for film history.
No, but that's strong.
Asking, is it?
That's strong.
Because that is a banger list right there.
All right, I'm going to start perusing down my list here for the year that one of the years that I might counter to that.
Okay.
1993.
93.
Jurassic Park.
Hall of Fame. Gold
Dazed
jacket.
and Confused.
Yep.
Tombstone.
Tombstone.
Schindler's List.
Never seen it.
The Sandlot. True Romance. The first Tarantino script to get made. And he included it in his filmography box set. What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
Never seen it. Yeah.
Mrs. Doubtfire. Surely you've seen that.
You know what? If I have to pick a Robin Williams film, it's
not saying it's my favorite. Not saying it's my favorite, but it was.
But noteworthy.
So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Yeah. Mike.
That movie has aged like wine.
You say it. Mike Myers' best work,
dude.
Mike Myers. I'm sorry.
Me. Same.
I'm sorry. Wayne's World 2, great.
I love them to death.
Again, 100% Hall of Fame, gold jacket. So I Married an Axe Murderer is Mike Myers' best work.
It's so like the humor is just I can't even explain it. It's like it's not like it's a cult classic.
Yes,
and it's great. The Super Mario Brothers movie, 93.
Go on.
Falling Down. Good movie.
Okay.
Good movie. The Fugitive. I'm a few. That movie's.
I'm not saying it's bad.
Great flick.
I'm not saying it's bad.
Sleepless in Seattle.
Bernie's.
Which at the time
I'll take
was
When Harry Met Sally over Sleepless in Seattle.
That's fair.
Anytime.
That's fair. Tom Hanks though was having his big. This is
not a besmirch to Tom Hanks.
This was the beginning of the Hanks ascent. Like,
yes,
because we're gonna do 94 next. By the way, so you've been warned.
Because I'm guessing Philadelphia's in here. This one, next one.
Okay. Indecent Proposal. Big deal when it came out though.
Probably has not aged well.
No. A Bronx Tale. good one. Hocus Pocus, which is having some kind of weird renaissance right now, which I don't understand.
I respect it.
Okay. Demolition Man.
Demolition Man.
Hot Shots Part 2.
War. It's fantastic.
Groundhog Day. Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Overrated. Not saying I don't like it. Not saying I don't like it. I'm just saying, as far as Mel Brooks films go,
it's fine. No, you're right.
Overrated.
You're right. Carlito's Way. Skipping some here.
Yeah.
Last Action Hero.
An underrated gem.
I agree.
Are you telling me all I have to do after all my years of detective schooling and work is drive around the neighborhood, point the finger at the house, and say the bad guys are in there? I think, folks, if you're listening to this and you remember Last Action Hero,
it's better than you remember.
Movie. If you go back and watch it again,
it's great.
That movie was meta before meta was a thing,
and I think that's why people didn't like it. They weren't ready for like the meta.
Yeah,
it is so like Arnold was thinking 10 steps ahead when he made that movie. Oh, unbelievable! All right, The Firm.
Yeah,
Philadelphia.
Tremendous
movie. Leprechaun, the first Leprechaun.
Gave us Jennifer Aniston.
Addams Family Values.
Quality.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Cliffhanger, which, it ain't great, but it's got John Lithgow.
I think Cliffhanger is probably one of the last examples of the classic 80s style action film.
Fair. Very
Whereas
fair.
Demolition Man is kind of a newer style going forward.
That's a great point, actually. The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Hall of Fame.
Menace to Society.
Yep.
I'm pulling this one out just because it still traumatizes me to this day. Fire in the Sky. To this day. I'm skipping a bunch here.
Yeah.
Rookie of the Year.
No.
Henry Rowan Gardner.
No.
I will not hear any besmirching of Henry Rowan Gardner. What's Love Got to Do with It?
I think fantastic. I think when it comes to Rookie of the Year, you were in one of two camps.
Yeah.
You were either in Rookie of the Year or in Little Big League. Like you rode for one of those.
I'm Team Rowan Gardner here then.
I've got to ride for Little Big League because Timothy Busfield. The whole West Wing connection, I got to go with that.
The Tina Turner movie is doing some big work here on this list. That's a great flick. Performances through the roof in that movie.
The Tina Turner documentary that came out on HBO this past year.
Oh, I'd be interested in watching that actually.
Very good.
And that's just the first 50 entries. I'm not reading all of them.
You gotta go into the deep cuts.
I'm going. Here's one. Dave is a great movie. Cool runnings.
Is Feel the Rhythm, Feel the Rhyme. Get on up. It's Devil's Due Time.
Well done. You want to kiss my egg?
Are you dead? Is Dave Kevin Kline's best work?
I have only seen two movies with Kevin Kline. One of them was Dave, so yes. I don't know. Someone might disagree, but
it's a filmography worth exploring. He's never been bad in anything I've ever seen.
He's a great actor, and Dave is tremendous. I love that. That's a great movie. Rudy,
not
93.
Frank Langella's best work. We know what Frank Langella's best work is.
Masters of the Universe, right here, baby. 93. Continuing, we got Rudy. You got Grumpy Old Men. Wayne's World 2.
Yep.
Coneheads. Come at me. I'll go to bat for Coneheads.
Nothing wrong with Coneheads.
The Good Son. That Macaulay was evil.
I've never seen it, but I remember the hype around it.
The Matinee with John Goodman, where he plays in the movie theater.
Vaguely remember that.
It's a fun movie. Joe Dante directed it, who did Gremlins. Okay. It's fun. Benny
Joe Dante of Captain America: The First Avenger fame.
That's correct. Wait. that right?
Yeah. Joe Dante directed Captain America and the First Avenger.
No. You're thinking of... why can't... He directed The Rocketeer. Joe Johnston, you're thinking of. And I'm probably getting that name wrong, too. Hang on. Captain America, the First Avenger. Directed by Joe Johnston. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Joe Dante directed Gremlins 2. And
this
matinee movie, which is,
yes.
Again, it's great. Benny and June. Remember that?
Yeah, Benny and June's a great movie.
See? Point of No Return.
I don't remember that one.
Jason Goes to Hell. All right, 93 starting to peter out, but Carl, stop what I just said.
All right.
We are not petering out. Son-in-Law. We're back, baby. Son-in-Law's a great movie. I know what I said.
Pauly Shore classic.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Best Pauly Shore film?
Believe it or not,
In the Army Now is a underrated Pauly Shore gem.
the only thing I remember from In the Army Now, wow, where are we on this conversation right now?
I love it. It's great.
The only thing I remember from that movie is a scene, and I still use this line to this day because I just thought it was hilarious. It's stupid, but it's funny. Is he's like trying to get it on with someone, and the phone's ringing, and he finally answers, and he goes, "Someone better be dead. Hello," and I still do that to this day. But I'm really busy. Anyway, Son-in-Law. Son-in-Law's that his name was Crawl. That's quality.
Gave us Carlo Gugino.
Don't think I don't know that. I'm going to bat for this movie for a reason, Carl. Loaded Weapon 1. Now it's not Lethal Weapon 2, but it is Loaded Weapon 1.
It never did much for me.
Okay, well,
but then again, I only ever saw it once. Oh, you got the Mind Bomb.
93 takes it all. 93 wins all the awards. Freaked.
Never saw it.
Oh my god.
What's it about?
Freaked is like the cultiest cult classic ever. It was directed by Alex Winter, Bill S. Preston, Esquire. Mm-hmm. He called in all the favors he had. Keanu Reeves makes an appearance uncredited as a Wolfman. It is what is it about? Oh my god. A terrible egocentric actor played by Alex Winter.
Okay.
Gets kidnapped by a psychopathic mad scientist played by Randy Quaid.
Okay.
Who uses a chemical to turn people into freaks and then charges admission to see said freaks in his show.
Okay.
That description does not explain this movie at all.
Sounds like kind of Kevin Smith ripped this off for Tusk.
Dude, Freaked is better than Tusk by a mile. Okay. It is bananas and it's hilarious. It's slapsticky, it's physical comedy, it's horror comedy.
Yeah.
It's gross out humor.
Okay.
Carl, I cannot accurately describe to you what Freaked is, but it is like you're either in the Freak Club or you're not. You might, and because you've never seen it, you're not. But if you see it, I promise you're going to be like, "I'm in. This is bananas, and I can't believe this exists."
All right.
Mr. T is in it. He plays a bearded lady. I can tell you the scene, but I can't tell you to you on the show because we are family friendly here, and it is hilarious. That's all I can tell you. I'll show you YouTube clips. You will laugh. 1993, Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. We're back.
Christmas Day release.
There you go. Okay, so that's like the first 100. That's just out of the first 100. 93. Wrong. And by the way, 93, Weekend at Bernie's 2. Not as good.
Some might say better.
And the list gets worse from there. All right, so that's 93. Now, my initial message to you was 94.
Right.
And
I know 94, we got The Crow, we got Pulp Fiction, I want to say 94.
I'm going to 94.
Going 94.
Get ready. Shawshank Redemption. Pulp Fiction.
Shawshank Redemption is hard to remember how good it is because of overexposure.
I appreciate that.
I need distance. I need a lot of distance from Shawshank Redemption before I go back to it to watch again, because I know in my mind that it's good.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. If it's
because it's so readily available.
I get that. But I mean, you're telling me that if it's on and you put it on, you're not going to be like, oh, it's this part. Like, it's that movie. Like, you know that whole movie.
Yeah, because it's been on so many times.
There was a time when it wasn't, though.
Anyway, it wasn't.
Pulp Fiction.
Right.
All day, every day.
Yep.
I'm here for it. Forrest Gump. My relationship with Forrest Gump is not good these days, but I can't deny it was a massive movie.
One of Julie's all-time favorite films.
It leaves me very conflicted.
Why is that?
It has some very mixed messages at best in it.
So, like, age issues as far as how it's aged.
Yeah. Even, you know what, to be honest, even for the time, I think people should have been like, wait a minute, that's kind of messed up.
Okay.
I don't want to get into it now. We're planting seeds. If you want to hear us talk about any of this stuff, let us know. I'll go off on all this stuff. And also, it's kind of a boomer, navel-gazing, nostalgia porn kind of movie. And I'm tired of that.
You know what? I want to have conversations that we can have fun with.
Yeah.
I want to have conversations that I know we can do well.
It won't be fun. It'll be serious.
That I think people might enjoy.
Okay.
So, format be damned.
All right.
Onward, sir.
No more Forrest Gump. The Professional.
Oh, so good.
The Lion King.
Yeah.
Stargate. Stargate's a weird movie, man.
Stargate's great.
It's good, but like,
listen,
it's strange. The fact that it exists is actually almost bizarre.
If you have Kurt Russell there, you've won not half the battle. You've won 3/4 of the battle with me. Because Kurt Russell covers so many sins.
Kurt Russell could make The Room interesting.
Yes.
All right.
Any room. But also the film, The Room.
I haven't seen it in a long time, but Legends of the Fall is on this list.
Great. It's a great movie. Okay. It's like a legitimately great movie.
All right.
Speed. Yeah.
I mean, Speed. The Mask. I don't know how that's aged, but was a big deal.
I don't know really where you rank it. It's probably in the top 5 Carrie movies, but on the bottom half of the list, I'm assuming.
I don't even know if I'd go top 5, but moving on beyond that, the very next movie on that list, Dumb and Dumber. Now that's top 3.
Classic.
Yeah. The Crow.
Oh, geez. We did a whole show on The Crow once.
I'll do another one sometime. Clear and Present Danger.
Nah.
True Lies.
There we go.
Natural Born
Arnold's
Killers.
best film. True Lies, Arnold's best film.
No. Great film, not his best film.
Like, I want to say Predator.
For me, it's Predator or T2, just because of the sheer spectacle of both of them is phenomenal.
Yeah, but when you're going like spectacle, True Lies is more spectacle than Predator.
It is, but I don't. But
he jumped on a Harrier jet, man.
Yeah, I know.
That his daughter was flying.
Look, I love True Lies. I love Bill Paxton in that movie. Maybe his best performance ever. Maybe. Tom Arnold in that movie, also phenomenal.
Gotta go Aliens for Bill.
That's fine. That's fine. I love his. He has some of the best dialogue I've ever heard in my life in True Lies. I can't say it here.
That is Tom Arnold's peak. Right there.
Yeah,
that indisputable. Drew, for the rest of the list, do me a favor. Do it slow. Do it sensual.
Look, I love you. Very good.
I know I don't say it enough, but just want to put it out there.
Natural Born Killers.
Never saw it.
Oh,
I get it though. Like I get why it's on there.
Interview with the Vampire.
Love it. Sorry, it's
great. No, you don't got to apologize for that. It's great.
It's a great movie.
4 Weddings and a Funeral. Man, whatever.
Yeah.
D2, Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
Not as good as the first. Carl, you gotta love 94. Street Fighter.
Still not the worst live action Street Fighter film.
There you go.
Surprisingly enough.
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, the OG.
Classic.
Let's see. Skipping a bunch. The Flintstones movie.
No thanks. I'll stick with the cereal.
Wyatt Earp, the inferior Wyatt Earp movie, ironically.
Mm-hmm.
Maverick. Back when Mel Gibson was not, well, he was, but we didn't know that he was a terrible, terrible person.
Blissfully ignorant. Maverick is a lot of fun.
Maverick is a super fun movie. Clerks.
And again, Hall of Fame, Gold Jacket.
Ed Wood.
Never saw it.
Great. Naked Gun 33 and a third. I'm here for it. I'm skipping more. Okay, 94 is petering out quickly. I'm sorry to tell you. Little Giants.
No.
Annexation of Puerto Rico. Come on. Just for that alone. Well, we're sinking like a stone here. Not going to lie. Star Trek Generations. I remember it. I have a very bad relationship with it.
As far as first films in the franchise go.
Yeah.
When you compare it to Star Trek the Motion Picture.
Motion Picture is better. Boringer, but has more to say.
Both were trying to do, and this is something I can respect. I'm not saying this is not. Both were doing what Star Trek was on TV. Philosophical, exploratory.
Yeah.
Asking big questions.
Well,
a little bit of action here.
Motion Picture was. There wasn't a lot of. Generations does.
What hurt Generations was the presence of Kirk.
It does the Next Gen dirty in a lot of ways. The characters are all very different. Like, these aren't the characters I saw on the TV show. Like, you've ruined them. Congratulations. Anyway, Airheads 94.
Airheads.
Go.
The Lone Rangers.
Time Cop.
Joe Montana's best work?
Yes. See how fast I said that?
Wow.
Yes.
No hesitation.
None. Time Cop.
Time Cop. Great movie. Once again, an example where time travel does not help.
I'm okay. Again, 94 might not be as strong as 93. The Shadow.
Recently rewatched it. So here's the thing. All right, here's my thing with Shadow. When I was a kid, my father introduced me to the Shadow.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, you like Batman? Let me show you what Batman's kind of based off of." So he introduced me to Shadow. He gave me a box set of the Shadow radio shows. And that was my only frame of reference for the Shadow. Now, the Shadow existed in pulp format prior to those radio shows.
Right.
What they were making the radio shows out of. And the film adapted a lot of what was happening in the pulp format rather than what it took aspects of the radio show, but more from the pulp format. So when I saw it, I was like, what's this whole like Shuan Khan and all this like telepathy and stuff going on? This isn't the Shadow. It wasn't until like years later when it started coming out again in Dynamite Comics, and we're talking fairly recently, like 10 years or so ago, that I learned that is more akin to what the character was doing back in the day than what I perceived it was. So rewatching it, I think last year, because it was on HBO Max, I rewatched it. I liked it a lot. That character is a great character that someone really needs to do something with.
94. The Hudsucker Proxy.
Okay. Yeah.
Quality film. PCU.
probably has aged terribly.
Yeah.
But probably
Jon
still
Favreau.
a fun watch. Jon Favreau, Jeremy Piven before we knew he was a horrible human being.
Yeah.
David Spade just playing
David Spade.
Playing David Spade, another film.
Major League 2.
Major League 2,
Step down, but I still like it.
But still a step down in the forward direction.
That's fair. Oh, Carl. Double Dragon.
Oh, can you name for me the three, because I can do it, the three lead actors in Double Dragon?
Robert Patrick is one of them.
No, he was not a lead.
I mean, he's in it.
He's in it, but he's not a lead.
The guy who played... the one guy... He ended up being the dude on Iron Chef for a minute, America. What's his name?
Are you thinking of Mark Dacascos?
That's the one. Yeah, him.
See, I knew him from playing Eric on the Crow television series.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And the martial arts classic, Only the Strong.
Okay, I don't know about that. All right.
But there was also... God, see, now I challenge you to name it. Now I'm forgetting the dude's name, but he was one of the lead dudes in Party of Five. And Alyssa Milano.
She was in there.
She was in it, because we were all like, hey, remember Alyssa Milano? We need to watch that one night again. I have no memories of that.
No one needs to watch that again.
We do. I think we do.
For whatever reason, I have strong memories of this movie, so I'm bringing it up. Blue Chips.
Blue Chips is good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Blue Chips.
94?
Nick Nolte.
Yeah.
Before he went full Nick Nolte.
He has spoken.
He was on the verge of full Nolte.
City Slickers 2.
Still good.
I agree.
Yep.
And without getting any deeper into this...
Has Billy Crystal made a bad movie?
Probably, but I don't know what they are. So, everyone's got some sneakers in their catalog. The Fantastic Four.
Yeah, 94 started strong.
Petered out quickly.
Whereas with 89 and 93, we're able to maintain some level.
I mean...
in the later run.
I think I would go to bat for either year of being pretty damn strong. Pretty strong. On par with 89.
I don't think 94's strengths are enough to carry its weaknesses and lack of depth on the bench.
I don't know. The top 10 was pretty strong.
It was strong. I'm not saying it wasn't strong, but 89 and 93, deep benches. 94,
not disputing that.
94's hurting.
Fair, but I 94 is pretty strong. But in any case, let's stop there. 89, 93, 94. I think either way, we were in a real golden age.
Yeah,
of
they're
cinema.
all in the conversation. This was fun.
It was. This makes me want to go through every year of the 90s. So we could pinpoint at exactly what time in the 90s did it start to go bad. Not now.
I'm just trying to think.
We'll do the homework on this.
Yeah.
This is
dear listener, you do the homework for us.
I'm planting seeds for the future here.
Planting seeds for the future.
Let's decide what year in the 90s Hollywood officially got bad.
You know what? I don't think it was in the 90s. I think it was in the...
You think it wrote it out in the 2000s?
I think it probably into the late aughts.
We'll see. Let's do.
Yeah.
I'll do some homework on this.
So
don't worry, I got you.
But yeah, I want to do more stuff like this. Just fun conversations, things that aren't 100% show adjacent, but I think you, the listeners, will enjoy it, and then we'll enjoy having. So we're gonna have some fun stuff.
I had a good time.
But by all means, folks, send us some suggestions. Send us stuff that you want us to talk about on the show. Obviously, we have a format, air finger quotes, but to just keep doing news and talking about that, and we just keep doing news and keep doing a breakdown of an episode of TV show. First off, we're not weekly, so it gets redundant, and like so many things get repeated in film, so many things so often get repeated in the news. And if you've been listening to us for a while, you kind of know where we stand on most things. You know, Drew loves Nintendo. Everything else a little bit less.
That's my obituary right there.
Carl loves Star Wars. Drew, not so much.
Hey, well, it's complicated.
That statement's not false.
Complicated.
But, folks, as always, we want to hear from you. By all means, tell us how you're doing. Send us things you want us to talk about on the show. Send us duty top 5 suggestions. These past couple episodes have been a lot of fun. I don't think it's just being back together in person, but we're just having fun. We're letting some stuff fly and seeing what sticks. But if you want to reach out to us, communicate to us, you can do so at the following social media locations. You can find us on Twitter. Follow us at Devils Do Pod. You can go to facebook.com/DevilsDoPod, like our page. You can email us at thedevilsdopod@gmail.com, or you can find all these resources available to you on our website, thedevilsdopodcast.com. Drew, that being said, any final thoughts?
The new Conjuring movie is not as good as the first two.
Okay.
Watched it. I was underwhelmed.
All right.
There you go.
Okay. Cool.
Have a good time.
All right. All right, folks. Take it easy. Thanks for stopping by. And we will see you next time. Or talk to you, as it is an audio medium. I mean, I'm probably just going to keep rambling, Drew. You can hit stop recording anytime you want. It's fine. I'm just kind of going off on a tangent here. But, wherever it stops, it stops. Drew, just hit the stop record.